Welcome to another episode of The Brown Couch with me, Vanita. Today we will be sitting down with a wonderful young lady I met several years ago. Her name is Wendy Adcock, and I welcome you to sit back and listen to her story. Hi, Wendy.
Hi.
I am so good. You're glad you're going to sit down with me today.
Well, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We like to start each show with me asking, where did we meet? How did we meet? Do you remember?
Oh, Lord. I want to say it was at APDS for Citizen Circle. I think that's where we initially met. I don't know. I feel
met.
like you've been in my life like forever. I don't even know.
We met, from my recognition, we met at United Way. Sharon Ware and Lindsay, I can't remember Lindsay. Melissa.
Yes.
And another young lady were putting on a workshop geared towards teaching human resource directors about hiring people who've been justice involved, and you were the caterer.
Yes. Wow, we met then?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That's when I remember meeting
and
you.
You're probably right.
And that was maybe 2010?
Yep. I just got out.
It was around 2010. And then you were so wonderful. I had started putting on the workshops.
Yes.
The Reset Entrepreneurship workshops. Mm-hmm. And I asked you and Melissa and Sharon to help me put that workshop on, which we had at the Department of Transportation. Mm-hmm. You were a speaker.
I was. I completely
You
forgot
also
about that.
raffled off a cake.
I did. I forgot all about that. Yes.
So that's another time. And then after that, you were at the quarterly Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections, and it was the first catering that anyone with justice involved had catered a luncheon. You catered the luncheon to that. And then, well, before that, I had put out a DVD called Reset, Restoring Ex-Offenders into Society Through Entrepreneurship and Training, to which you're featured in there. And you talk about you just being released and talking about, well, what am I going to do now? How am I going to do it? What am I going to do? Where am I going? And you thought about a bakery. So you talk about being an entrepreneur and opening your bakery. So we have you featured in that. We've done a lot. And then you were at Hinkles and Mccoy, and you would invite me over to Hinkles and Mccoy every now and then. And I also was coming there for those quarterly meetings.
Yes.
What was her name?
Elia Thomas.
Was doing. So I was coming by Hinkles and Mccoy. Yeah. And we actually
go way back. Yeah. Goodness.
So
you're like my re-entry mama.
So let's talk a little bit about once you were released. What were your thoughts? Where were you going? What was your mindset?
Goodness, scared and overwhelmed. Like, I knew it was going to be hard when I got out, but I was not prepared about how hard it was going to be. So trying to figure out what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, where you're going to get a job, who's actually going to trust you, all those sort of things are just, very scary and overwhelming. And, being able to speak your truth. And that was something I needed to do for therapy, just for me to get it out. So it's not always uncomfortable and scary to do that. So really reaching out to like APDS.
What's APDS?
Afrocentric
Professional Development Shop. If I got it right, because my daughter works there, and I'm always getting it wrong.
It's like just APDS. Don't ask me.
And at the time, APDS was the house for the Citizen Circle, and fast forward, I took over the Citizen Circle in 2012.
Yes.
From APDS. Yeah. So I didn't meet you at APDS, even though I was attending the meetings at APDS. that's how I found out about the Citizen Circle. You had already been at Hinkles and McCoy's by the time I started going
wow. It's like all a blur. But yeah, just, reaching out to different agencies, trying to create a support system, my family, but, and they're loving and everything, but they had no clue what I was going through and all that. So reaching out to other places where they can help me, be able to speak my truth, to be able to have me recognize what my strengths are. So getting out, one of the most frustrating things was just really trying to find a job. And so finally I just got to the point like, I'm just going to have to take a look at my skills. If they're not going to give me a job, then I'm going to have to create something for myself legally. And lo and behold, my skill set is cooking. My background is in cooking and running hotels. And, so really just, taking the last $25, making up these, I still have those business cards, not so professional business cards, and just baking stuff and just going around to different, wherever agencies and, seeing who would be willing to give me an opportunity for catering or buying stuff.
While you were doing all that, were there any blessings in disguises that came forth before?
There was. I mean, a lot of people were very receptive to that. So, I had one lady who would just call me. She didn't need anything, but just call me, say, oh, I need a dozen cookies, or whatever. I'm like, okay, yeah, I can do that. So just, things like that to keep me busy. I used to train dogs when I was in prison. So there was a couple people who were like, hey, you want to come walk my dog? You want to come train my dog that's already trained, but come train her again? It's like, okay. So, things like that. So I've learned when you put yourself out there and you let people know what's going on and what your needs, people will listen. And if you're serious about what you need and you want, they're there for you. So
how did Hinkles and McCoy's come about? And what is Hinkles and McCoy, so they know?
Hinkles and McCoy was a training center, and they did at-risk youth, and then they also had a program, a newly minted program for reentry people. And so we were actually helping people once they get out, do work readiness, help with their resumes, help them find employment, help them find housing. So Hinkles and McCoy came about. How did they come about? Oh my goodness.
Did you meet Ilya before that?
I did, yes. I don't even know where I met her.
Probably at one of those events.
Yes. Yeah. Her and Kiston.
I actually think they came to the workshop.
I think they did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, they're like, hey, we need someone has a felony background. That's me. We need someone who knows how to cook, because they wanted to do Serve Safe, which is safety and sanitation in restaurants. I'm certified. I can do that. I'm like, I'm your girl. I'm your girl. And they're like, great. So once, we get this program up and running, we're going to call you and then we can hire you. So in the meantime, what I was actually doing was, dropping off baked goods and food. So like, hey, don't forget about me. And so they started hiring me as their caterer as well too. And so once everything was up and running, I did get hired on full time to teach the classes. So customer service and then also Serve Safe. And then I became a case manager as well too.
Wow.
So yeah. Lots of stuff. Holy cow.
Yep.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time. So where did you venture after Hinkles and McCoy?
After Hinkles and McCoy, I went to MCS Touch.
That's right.
Yeah.
See, I forgot.
Yeah.
I forgot about Touch.
Yeah. So when I did initially get released from prison, that was one of the places I also reached out to. So Caitlin was still there. She just started her new women's group. So I was actually going to those. I think it was like every Tuesday or something that we would have those. And again, just as a safe place and a way to, just hoosah and be around, people who get what I'm going through as well too. And so never lost touch with them. So basically let them know it's like, if you need a case manager, let me know.
I'm your girl.
I'm your girl. So then they hired me on.
Let's talk about you being one of the first people who's been justice involved, you and Miss Marvetta.
Yes.
To go back into the Ohio Reformatory for Women and teach classes there. What was that like? Like the first time even that you went back to the institution, coming from the other side?
Exciting and scary, a little bit uneasy. Wasn't sure how people were going to receive me, and shockingly, the staff and the inmates, the women were just fabulous, just wonderful. It was like, I don't want to say being welcomed home, but it was kind of like that they were so happy and so grateful to see someone who looks like them, out here working, doing the things that they need to do, staying out of trouble, and then coming back to share that as well too, to share inspiration. And I still do it. I absolutely love it. It keeps me grounded too. Selfish reasons. I love going back in. I love working with people who are just getting out of jail and prison, because it also reminds me where I came from.
Exactly. What were you teaching at ORW?
We were teaching kind of like a hybrid work readiness and kind of like a cognitive-based training. So just really getting them to take a look at their behaviors, what needs to change, what you need to work yourself on, talking about the realities of when you get out. And that was the main thing that me and Marvetta definitely wanted to get them to understand, that these falsehoods out here, these myths, all that.
Yes,
it's like, it's a new beginning. You get to start over. And I'm like, no, those bills that you left are still there. It's just going to be a little bit harder. So all of that kind of stuff too, that, the reality may be that you may get out and your family or whoever said that you could stay suddenly may change their mind.
Exactly.
So having those plans in place, plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, what are you going to do if this happens? What are you going to do if you run into this person as well too, so you don't end up wrecking yourself, and God forbid you don't end up coming back to prison as well too.
Exactly.
So
I got to see you and Marvetta in action. There was an event going on at ORW to which they were having breakout sessions to which the young ladies got to go to different workshops. And I sat in on you and Marvetta. I mean, you two are like Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin.
We are like sisters.
Your play, the energy that the two of you, and the thing about it, it's like tennis, because you're like, y'all don't stand still. You're all over the stage, and all in front of the ladies.
In front of the ladies,
yes,
around the ladies, sitting with the lazy.
That you ladies presented to those women, you could just see they were just like gravitating towards every word. And again, like you said, to have two young ladies who was there come back in and now are training and teaching and giving them some hope when they get out is just so wonderful. But again, if anybody got to see you two interact together, I mean, just Marvetta by herself is like, okay, Marvetta, stay in one spot. So I got to experience you guys, and it was a wonderful experience watching you in ORW. Good. So when did you start your bakery? Let's talk about that.
So I got out June 1st, 2010. Yes, still remember that. And I started the bakery probably like September. Okay. Just, being completely frustrated, not being able to find a job, looking at jobs that I knew I could very easily do, but because of my felony background, that's just wasn't gonna happen. And so just finally one day, it's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I have no idea what I'm gonna do. Don't have enough money to run away, right? So you're gonna have to face your problems. And so just really just deciding, like, you know what, you can cook. If you can't do anything else, you can cook. So, let's figure out what we need to do. So just sitting there saying, okay, let me bake some stuff, let me go around to different agencies, different companies, and just, put myself out there. Exactly. They're either going to say yes or no. And a lot of them said yes, which was wonderful. And including ODRC. Yes. And yes.
I remember that you called me. I was still working for the state, working in the Department of Development and Small Business. And you said, I'm on my way with some Christmas cookies.
Yes.
You brought my Christmas cookies to me. And I believe I did order after that. I'm not sure, because Everybody in my office like, where'd you get those? This young lady, her name is, I think I had a card.
Yeah.
Her name is Wendy Adcock. This is how, Fusion Bakery. Yes, and we have some samples. What do we have here? What do we
Those
have
are
here?
actually kind of Christmas cookies. So that's the sugar cookies with buttercream.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's one of our signature cookies. Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, your cookies are just, oh my God. To die for.
Thank
die
you.
for. And I think for several years you would bring cookies
I
up
did.
to me on Christmas. Like, I'm on my way with your cookies.
Yep.
I'm on my way with your cookies. So are you still baking? Did you ever
still
find
baking.
a site? Do you have a
So right now I rent a small bakery. Primarily what I'm doing because of COVID and, decided to start restructuring. I do a lot of private chef services. So
Okay.
that means I get to go into the client's house and make a mess in their house. And cook for them.
Wow.
And whether it's for that dinner that night or more so meal planning. So typically these are folks who are just very busy. So come in, make a whole bunch of meals for them that they can put in the refrigerators and their freezers for a week or 2 weeks or whatever. And then I clean up and go away. So
We gotta
that's-
talk.
Yeah.
We definitely have to talk.
yeah,
I
so-
would love to take advantage of that
Absolutely,
service.
absolutely,
Wow.
yeah,
What
yeah.
is your specialty? What do you specialize in?
Mine is West Indian food, so a little bit spicy, kind of Jamaican. It's really Fusion Bakery came about because it's all my love. So West Indian food, Indian food, African food, Southern food. So all that stuff just kind of thrown together, kind of like United States, right? So all the best stuff. And that's what I do. So I usually do a lot of different riffs on stuff. So it's not authentic kind of food. It's just kind of like that, just the food that you grew up with.
Wow.
That just kind of makes you feel good when you eat it. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Try to
ma'am.
make it a little bit healthier for you, but not always. Sometimes you need that macaroni and cheese. You just need it. You need that sugar cookie. Yeah, so some things you don't skimp on, some things you're like, you know what, we can make these greens, but we're going to put smoked turkey in it just to make it a little bit healthier for you. And we're going to braise them so you don't cook out all the nutrients.
And that's
they're
how I
just
make
as
my
good.
greens now.
Yeah,
I have some kale in my refrigerator right now and I got some smoked turkey necks and I'm going to cook them later. So
Absolutely.
I understand.
Yeah.
So there's the bakery. You were at Hinkles and McCoy. You was at MC Touch. What are you doing now?
So now, goodness gracious, so I decided to go back to cooking at Wyland's Market, which is a supermarket little private owned supermarket that's in Clintonville, and had been cooking there for probably about a year and a half. And then one of my former bosses from MCS Touch went over to Office of Justice Policies and Programs, and was running what is called the Rapid Resource Center at the jail on Jackson Pike. And so he said, "Hey, are you done cooking? Because this is ridiculous. You need to get back and start working with our people and giving them hope and giving them direction." I'm like, "Yeah, well, what do you got going on?" So I started there. I'm still there as a case manager and a peer support person. So I go into the jails, I talk to ladies and men. They have a Pathways program for ladies and men, but I'm on the women's side where we're doing behavioral intervention, where they're kind of, again, looking at their behaviors, what we need to change, how we're going to look at things differently when we get out. And then we follow them for at least a year when they get out to see, how they're doing and help them, find jobs, reconnect with their family, all that good stuff. Treatment,
What's
trying to get them.
Pathways?
So Pathways is just it's a program for women, started out for women, and it's just a way of just kind of helping them look at things differently, because it's a journey, right? The journey, definitely the hard stuff, as I tell people, it begins when you get out. It's easy when you're inside, right? You know what you're going to wear. Unfortunately, you know what you're going to eat. You know what's expected of you. But when you get out, it gets a little bit more, cloudy. So,
Right.
kind of taking a look at that path and see, what you need to do, staying on that path when you need to make a left turn, when you need to make a right turn, and, doing things differently. And, you've got a whole 13, 18 people behind you, cheerleaders behind you, that's going to help you as well too.
And I'm sure you're doing a great job with
I
it.
try to.
Yeah.
I try to.
Because you got
on
that
the
smile.
nerves.
That smile. Look at the smile. Look at the smile. Look at the smile. So I'm so grateful. And you and I have reconnected again
Yes.
with this. And
Yeah,
I've been working with
absolutely.
you. And
Yeah.
we've housed people temporarily. We've gotten clothing for people.
Yeah.
We've gotten all kinds of resources and helped people. So I'm glad to reconnect you with
Yes,
that.
likewise. Yeah.
One of the last things I want to talk about was you did a soup kitchen. Let's talk about your soup kitchen.
I love that. I would love to get back to that one of these days. Yes. So I had decided, goodness gracious, when was that? I don't even know, like 5 years ago.
It was before.
It was after Hinkles and Mccoy.
Yeah.
Actually, that's right. So I left Hinkles and Mccoy, which became Eckerd Workforce Development, and I decided that, I kept fussing at our clients like, you know what? Y'all need to get it together. Y'all need to do what you love to do and stop this nonsense. And I'm thinking like, okay, I'm telling them all this, but I'm not doing what my passion is. Like, how can I sit up here and tell somebody else to follow their passion if I'm not doing it? So I had decided I'm going to take a leap of faith and open up a soup kitchen, and then also be able to sell lunches and dinners and cater as well too. And so every Friday we had the soup kitchen. Monday, Sunday through Thursday we actually cooked there, did catering, and then we also delivered lunches as well too. So we had a very small, tiny menu.
And you also had a pantry, a small
We did.
produce pantry
Yes.
along with the soup kitchen.
Yeah.
So not only could someone get a free meal,
They can get
they could get some free
Yep, and we had
pantries.
clothing there as well too. Like every third Sunday, we had a pancake breakfast. So the whole entire community can come in, and then also we had agencies come in as well too, because that was one of the things that I realized is like you're telling someone, okay, you need to go down to Job and Family Services, and it's like I don't have $250,
Right.
to get on the bus. So what are you saying? It's like if this is my last $5. I can't just go here just hoping that someone might be able to help me, So if we can bring those agencies here, and you can come here and you can get a good meal, you can get clothing, you can get produce or whatever, that's a good thing. That's a good day.
Let's talk about that.
Yes.
I think we should.
And that's funny because I was just talking about it the other day, and it's like I need to get back to that. I miss that.
I don't know if you visited any of the warming centers. The Columbus Coalition for the Homeless does a warming center downtown at the United Methodist Church off of East Broad Street, and they offer a warm place for people like today to go until they can go back into the shelters or back to their camps. And your soup kitchen, because I was just like, I think I came back twice. I didn't even eat. Yeah, I came back.
A lot of people came to volunteer, and a lot of people just came because that was the other thing.
What's his name? What's the gentleman with the golden voice? Do you remember?
Ted,
I got pictures.
Forgot about it.
Ted
I can't.
Williams. Ted Williams.
Yes.
And
yes.
he happened to show up.
Yes.
The day I was there, and I was like, "Can I have a picture with you, please?" If anybody doesn't know who that was, Ted Williams was a gentleman who was somewhere up north with a sign saying he will. What was it? Talk for.
He will talk. Yeah.
He would talk. The man with the golden voice.
Yes.
And someone happened to see that, and then he just took off, and he was on the morning shows, and he was just all over. And he happened to be at the soup kitchen that day that I came, and I was like, "Can I have a picture with you, please?" And he took a picture with me that day. So yes, we need to talk about that. I think that's something
that's needed.
That's needed, and it would be a great place for people who are coming out, who are looking for volunteer opportunities. I always tell people when they get out, while you're searching, while you're looking, volunteer.
Absolutely.
And
of course. Opportunities open up that way. And you can also put it on your resume.
Thank you. And everybody knows you now.
People will hire you. Absolutely.
And everybody
why
knows you
not?
on a positive. They don't look at you as an
Absolutely.
ex-vendor,
Yes.
ex-this, whatever.
What I know of
Wendy,
that person is a hard worker.
Fusion
Yes.
Bakery. You want some good food? Wendy.
Yes.
So, yeah, we
I would love to.
really need to talk about that. So what I would like for us at this point, is there anything you would like to tell our audience who are listening in on this? Is there anything, one, I want you to share your contact information for your wonderful bakery.
Okay.
And then just share with us about, just wrap up your journey and how it's just climbed for you, and it can be done for someone else who's coming out. If you could share that with your audience.
Sure. I would say, believe in yourself for sure. It's going to be scary, but you've been here before, right? It's no more scarier than when you were out there in the streets doing, whatever. So this time, let's do something positive for our life. If you're doing the right thing, people are going to notice and they're going to help you move along. And don't be afraid to ask for help. If you're having a bad day, just say you're having a bad day, but don't ever be afraid to ask for help. And, people are going to help you. They will. They love to help. People love to help, in fact. So my journey has been, it's been a good one. It's been a good one. In the beginning, and now talking to you and thinking about it 11 years ago, and I would never have thought that I would be where I am now and helping other people. You couldn't tell me in a million years. So it's been very gratifying, being able to reach out to other people, being able to encourage other people. And, I think that actually going to prison saved my life, but it also helped me figure out what I need to do for my life as well, too. That clearly there was something else in the atmosphere, in the universe that I needed to be doing. So I am right where I'm supposed to be.
So for our audience, and I'm going to grab one of these cookies here. For our audience, oh my God, they look so delicious. They look so delicious. How does one find out about those?
Yeah.
So I'm going to bite while she talks, everybody.
So my email is fusionbakery@yahoo.com. I no longer have a website, so if anybody wants to help me make a website, a decent, proper one, come find me because I'm not good at that. But fusionbakery.com. I'm sorry, fusionbakery@yahoo.com. And then my phone number is 614-804-7277. Just call or text me and I will call you back as well. And I do have a whole menu, so you can always ask for the menu and I'll send it out to you.
my sugar rush.
Empty calories.
My sugar rush for the day.
Love.
My sugar rush for the day. Miss Wendy. Miss Adcock,
thank you so much,
my sister.
Mama.
Thank you for coming out. Thank you. I know you're very busy. Love you to death, and we are going to work together.
Yes,
some more.
Please do. Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.